My dear friends, a very warm welcome. It's wonderful to have you with me to reflect on the Gospel for the 32nd Sunday in Ordinary Time. The reading is taken from Luke chapter 20, verses 27 to 38. The theme is God of the Living. In philosophy, there is a form of belief called existentialism. Its believers have a negative attitude towards life, that life is meaningless, dreadful, and empty. Among them was a German philosopher called Friedrich Nietzsche. He was also a nihilist, that is, one who thinks that life is worthless, of nothingness, who rejects all moral and religious codes and principles, and has no faith. Nihil means nothing in Latin. Nietzsche had famously said that God is dead. The irony is Nietzsche is dead. Psychologically, people who don't believe in the existence of God see life as burdensome and living as filled with suffering, anxiety, and depression. They worry about the senselessness of life when they face normal challenges in our everyday life. This can lead them to an existential crisis and think that life is not worth living. In short, they have lost their way because they do not subscribe to any moral value, belief, or religion. It is regrettable that they do not have a roadmap of faith in God to navigate safely the rough terrains of life in good and bad weather. But surely we must not throw God out of the equation if we are to find the God of the living and not the dead. If we want to experience the fullness of life and the joy of living, we must humbly examine the teachings of Jesus for this week's Gospel, that there is the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. He is the God not of the dead, but of the living. What is the significance of linking God to Abraham? First, Jesus connects us immediately to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He brings us back to the profound promise of God to keep his covenant of faith 3,800 years ago, that Abraham was to become the father of all nations. His descendants would number as numerous as the stars in the sky. We are the beneficiaries of that promise made. We should be grateful that God has made this covenant with Abraham that stands today. Second, Jesus reveals to us that he is the one who has come from the Father. For no one has seen God the Father but the one and only Son, who is himself God and who is at the Father's side, has made him known. Hence, Jesus, who is both human and divine, has the power to rise from the dead and open the gates of heaven to us by conquering sin and death. So, my dear friends, why kill God just to justify our living? God does not kill us just to justify that he is alive. Remember that if we are alive, it is God who alone is the one who sustains us. When we are dead, God is still God and truly living long after we are gone. Like the saints who live by faith, we too hope to live a fulfilling and joyful life in the service of God and neighbor. When our time is up, we will have a share in his resurrection and life eternal, because God is the God of the living. And so with that, my dear friends, I have two questions for reflection. The first is, who is someone living desperately in distress without faith in God? Second question is, what can I do to help him or her come to faith and know the God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Jesus Christ, whom he has sent? So with that, I invite you to join me to pray for protection together with Mother Mary. O Mary, you shine continuously on our journey as a sign of salvation and hope. We entrust ourselves to you, health of the sick. At the foot of the cross, You participated in Jesus' pain with steadfast faith. You, salvation of the Roman people and of the whole world, know what we need. We are certain that you will provide, so that as you did at Cana of Galilee, joy and feasting might return after this moment of trial. Help us, Mother of Divine Love, to conform ourselves to the Father's will and to do what Jesus tells us. He who took our sufferings upon himself and bore our sorrows to bring us through the cross to the joy of the resurrection. We seek refuge under your protection, O Holy Mother of God. Do not despise our pleas, we who are put to the test, and deliver us from every danger, O glorious and blessed Virgin. Amen. So thank you for joining me. Have a good weekend. May you continue to join the glory of the saints, for they believe in the God of the living. Have a good day.